In book 4, yes,
Can I go to the restroom?
you may. We left off last time in book 4 with Aeneas giving instructions to 3 of his guys. Who were they? Menestheus, good, Brenda. Sergestus and brave Serestus. And he told them to do a few things. He says, do what?
Pack up the stuff.
Pack up the gear, get the ships ready, do it takiti, quietly. And then he says, in the meantime, I'm going to be over here talking to Dido. But, said Virgil, she presensed it in 297. She sensed ahead of time. She knew. Because quis fallere apposita montem, right?
You can't hide anything from your lover.
Can't hide anything from your lover. Who can deceive a lover? They always figure these things out. And besides that eadem impia fama again was up to no good. That same rumor, impia rumor. And we even talked about that on Friday. In what way is fama impia here? In what way is fama impia?
Isn't it because Aeneas told him to be quiet?
Yeah.
So then one of the people didn't obey him.
Right, obviously somebody has let the cat out of the bag if she's hearing stories, and so this is clearly disloyal to Aeneas, and he describes her in 300 and following as walking around sad and depressed and looking for Zoloft. No, he describes her as someone who is what? Raging.
Manic.
She is crazy. She's manic. She's like a what? Like a bacchanalian, right? A bacchant raging around the city. And she hits him. Talk about hit you with your best shot. Here it is in 305. And man, thank God. 300 to 330. We're going to do this over 2 days. We got broken up for us. We can get into it. 300 to 330. It is like, okay, I'm going to compare this. Now, you got to understand that I don't necessarily condone or support everything I make a reference to. Right? Because you guys make cross references to extraordinary violence and drugs. So that alone would suggest I really don't support or condone this. Well, that's 300 to 330 straight into like a Quentin Tarantino movie.
Why
did you
okay.
condone
Quentin Tarantino?
Yeah, wait,
Okay.
why wouldn't you condemn?
Okay, well, it's the slow motion sawed-off shotgun blast in the chest. That's basically what 300 to 330 is. And
Or the scene where what's his name comes right out of the bathroom and then the box there just shoots him with the mini.
That's hilarious.
well, or shoots the guy and the gun goes off accidentally in the back of the car.
Oh, yeah. You shot
Yeah.
Marvin.
Shot Marvin, exactly right. Yes. I'll tell you what, we're going to continue to translate. You over there, you need to pray. Because this is really, that was a good comment.
Actually,
Danielle.
Danielle to translate because
She hits and she says, Dissimulare
Protect.
etiam sperasti perfide. Exactly. This is a pretty kind of line. She says, did you sperasti?
Did you hope?
Did you hope to dissimulare? To conceal? Notice how she starts off with the first word. I mean, I don't think, okay, again, talking about translation, right? Putting dissimulare up front really is important, right? Because that's what she's focused on. I think if we said, to conceal did you hope? That sounds horribly British, horribly stuffy, and not nearly angry enough. Right? So if you want to translate the tone of this, you can't translate it in word order. I mean, you could translate it in word order, but it set up the wrong tone. So did you hope to pretend or to cover this up? And she, oh, this is just mean. Perfides, she calls him. Treacherous man. You who violate fides.
Women?
Trust or loyalty. Now why is that a particular low cut to Aeneas? That's what he's known for, right? I mean, he's got the Mr. Loyal Award, 10 years running, right? I mean, he's got all the little ribbons on his outfit, he's Mr. Loyal, and she hits him with, you disloyal guy here. Did you hope to hide this? No. Did you hope to posse dissimulare? Did you hope to be able to hide this? Did you think that it was even possible? You treacherous man, you wretch, what form is perfide?
Evocative.
Evocative, very nice. Did you hope to be able to hide tantum? Such a great, I'm not going to say factum, because that's certainly not big enough. I'm not going to say cremen, because that's not even big enough. I'm going to say nephos. Such a great evil. And this is a word, when you translate it, you have to say evil. You can't say evil. Right? There's a difference between evil and evil. Right? I mean, it's just...
One sounds like a
Yeah. It's evil. I mean, it's just even. Because nephos is what?
The opposite.
The opposite of phos, which is what? Specifically, what kind of good? We've been through this. Divine will. Phos is divine will. So nephos is that which is against the divine will. That's why it really is evil. But here is the absolute kicker. This is not, by definition, nephos, what he's doing.
This is exactly Foss.
This is exactly Phos. Right? He's actually been commanded by Jupiter through Mercury, and he's obeying them.
But that wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for his jealous son.
What's that?
If it wasn't for Jupiter's jealous son, Yarvis, that wouldn't have happened.
Oh, right. Well, yeah, right. Yeah. Yarvis went and complained. Yarvis went and complained. Yeah, little weasel. All right. Why couldn't he gone on Match.com? We wouldn't have had on this one. Right? Find
Plenty
somebody
of
else.
fish. Yeah.
There's other fish in the sea.
Christian mingle. That's what you should.
There you go.
I don't know.
Please tell me. I've seen that site, that commercial. Please tell me that is Christian, the religion, and that is not your personal
No, it's not mine.
site that you are running. Okay, because that would be very concerning.
It's like every person gets matched with me. Like we got someone that's.
This is why you always have a date.
All the
Okay,
things.
okay, all right. Yes, don't get that confused with minglewithchristian.com. That's a whole other site there.
Yeah, that site's
I
mine.
like imagining someone like taking out like skyline beach, and like Christian's your match.
Necte noster amor. Necte Dr. Dexter quondam nec moritura tenet crudele funeradino. She says, now this sounds like Cicero. Nihil ne te nocturnum praesidium polati. Nec te blah 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 tenet. Okay, in 2 lines, it's just like the beginning of the first Catilinarian. Does something not tenet te? She says.
Something not holy.
Does something not hold you? And just like with Cicero, she lays out all the different things before she gets the main verb there, right? What things did she suggest? Does these things not hold you? Does noster amor not hold you? Oh, I don't even know that it's my love. It's noster. It's our love. I thought, a sense of connection. I thought there was something between us, maybe. No? Does our love not hold you? Does a dextra, a right hand, quondam data, quondam, good storytelling word, once data, once given, not tenet te, not hold you. That's a reference not to love, but to the hospitality that she showed him and his men. I extended my right hand, the right hand of friendship. That's just standard metaphor there, right? I extended my right hand. I let you guys have a place to crash. I gave you guys food. I gave you guys shelter. Does that not hold you? What about me? Beto! Me! Moritura! What kind of participle is Moritura?
Reflexive.
Future.
Future.
What about Dido, who is Moritura? No, not yet. Future participle. Who is about to die with a crudele funera. With a cruel death.
That's not even foreshadowing anymore. That's just like.
That's her threatening to
Yeah, that's certain. You leave, I'm going to kill it. I'm going to kill myself. Now, several things here. First of all, how many elements do we have here? 3. So we got a what?
Tricolon.
We got a tricolon. This one is particular. We call this tricolon crescens. Crescens. Right? We've got 2 kinds of tricolon. Christian, I don't know if we talked about it before in here, or I know we had talked about it in 3rd year. I don't know if you know
We
that.
never actually like touched on it.
Okay, tricolon is what?
We have gradient.
Kind of grouping of 3 things. And anytime you kind of have that, that's a big deal. But especially when you've got either tricolon crescens or tricolon descendens, basically ascending or descending tricolon, where each element in the tricolon either gets progressively more complex or progressively simpler. Okay? So she starts off with a very simple 2 words, noster amor, our love. Then she moves it up to 3 words, dextra quondam data. Then she moves it up to 4 words, dido moritura crudele funera. So each element has gotten a little bit more complex. So she's really building, right? She's building to this crescendo. Does none of that stuff hold you? Like I say, we're going to take our time on this 30-line passage because this is just so rich in the language and the figures of speech and so forth. Queen etiam iberno molire sidera classem et meris properas aquilonimus ire per altum. Crudalis. Yeah. Why are you molirus? Yeah, why are you attempting your classem? And we don't attempt a classem, that doesn't make any sense. We have to do something else here for a definition.
Why are you attempting a fleet?
Yeah, we don't attempt a fleet in English.
Preparing.
Preparing a fleet or attempting to sail in your fleet, something along those lines. Why are you doing that in Hiberno Sidera? in the winter star. Common standard knowledge. You don't sail in the winter. Winter is more storms, and so you don't sail in the winter in that day and age. I don't understand. Why are you properos?
Who are you, like,
Or why?
You're hurrying to Ire, to go through the ultim, through the deep, right? Mediis aquilonibus, in the middle of what?
The north wind.
In the middle of the north winds, the winds that are bringing the cold and the storms. Again, when the north wind is out, you shouldn't be out sailing. Now, I know queen means why not, can mean why not. You can almost go with one of the later definitions there. And I know this sounds, again, horribly Victorian, but nay even. Okay? She really can't believe what he's doing. Nay, you are even preparing your fleet during the winter. You are even hurrying to go out into the deep in the middle of the north winds. So it's a question, but one that it's basically expressing incredulity. Do we know the word incredulity and incredulous?
Yes.
Okay, coming from credo, right? Credo means what?
To believe.
To believe. So if you are incredulous about something, you are full of disbelief, right? And incredulity. So she can't believe it. And then I got to be honest. those lines 309, 310 almost might have sounded like she was concerned about him, but we know she's not because she hits him with the very first word of the next line, crudalis. Cruel, man. Crudalis parallel to perfide. All right, so she is pretty angry. Yes,
2 questions. Does the north wind come from the north or go north?
comes from.
All right, so sailing to Rome's gonna be real hard.
Right, you'd be sailing against the wind. So I don't get it. Why now? Wait till spring.
Right. And second question, can I go with that?
Certain take fast. Quid! Si non arvaliena domosque ignotas peteres, et Troia antiqua maneret, Troia perundosum peterete classibus aequo? She says, quid. What? If you, okay, now look at peteres and maneret and peterator. Okay, everybody find the 3 verbs? Peteres, maneret, peterator. What tense and mood are all 3 of those?
Future perfect.
Mini-may. They are subjunctive. Good. What tense subjunctive? Imperfect subjunctive. Imperfect subjunctive in a condition. Those were set up by C. What kind of condition? We got 4 basic conditions we talk about. Present, contrary to fact. Present, contrary to fact. How do you translate a present, contrary to fact condition? Would is in the apodosis, or the second half. What's the helping word in the prodosis, or the first half of the condition?
It's like hypothesis.
If something blank, something would.
But
Not should, that's future
Will.
less vivid.
Well.
It's a W word. Were. 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 And that were is a subjunctive in English. It's one of the few places we really kind of retain that subjunctive in English, right? If I were at the bowling alley, obviously I'm not, I'm at North Central teaching a Latin class, so it's
You'd be in a
contrary to
toga.
fact in the present. If I were at the bowling alley,
Be in a
I
toga.
would be rolling a strike. But none of that is happening because I'm here, right? So she says, if you were Peteres, she says, if you were non-Peteres, if you were not seeking arwa aliena, foreign arwa, not arma, arwa synonym for agros almost. If you were not seeking foreign lands or foreign fields, and ignotas domos, and some kind of homes, unknown homes. Obviously, Italy is foreign land to Aeneas. He doesn't know where he's going. She says, if you were not seeking foreign lands, if you were not going after unknown homes, and pick the C up again, si Troia antiqua maneret, if ancient Troy were maneret, manio manera mansi mansuras, were remaining, right? And obviously that's contrary to fact. We know that Troy has been destroyed. She says, if ancient Troy were remaining, would, now we get the apodosis here, so the would part, would Troia be peterator, make it passive now, be sought. Would Troy be sought? Per undosum aequor. Through the undosum, to the wavy sea, right? Ichor is another name for sea, in clausibus. In fleets. Okay? Now let's slow that down because we got to get the sense of it to see what's going on here. Okay? So we got a big old, just classic, contrary to fact, present condition. Right? It's just the condition is a question. We don't I think most of the conditions we've seen before have been statements, right? If I were at the bowling alley, I would be rolling a strike. It's a statement. She says, if you were not seeking two things, right? Arwa aliena, domos ignotas. You were not seeking something that was unknown. Okay, let's pretend for a moment you're not seeking something unknown. And, sees implied, if Antiqua Troia maneret, if ancient Troy were still standing. Okay? So like, I don't think you'd even be going to Troy in this kind of weather. Would Troia really be peterator? Would even Troy be sought? Would you really be going to Troy? Per undosum, blah, 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 through the wavy sea and in your ships. So I don't think, look, she's like, you wouldn't go back to Troy in weather like this. Now you're going after something you don't even know about, and then it hits her. May Fugus? Are you fleeing me? Ouch. I don't think you'd even be going back to Troy if Troy were still there to get to in weather like this. You're going off on some cockamamie adventure? That doesn't make sense. Okay. Now, I will say, God love Virgil for his great word choice. It's not agros alienos. He does choose arwa here. Arwa, remember the distinction between arwum and ager. Ager is a general field, arwum is what? Land that has been plowed land. It's from arare, A-R-A-R-E, meaning to plow. We get a great English word from that. Good SAT word. We talk about arable land. Nice. Arable land is land that is able to be plowed and used for crops and so forth. Remember when the snakes, serpents, in book 2, as Aeneas was describing it, he said that they were coming out of the sea, and now they are watenant, and now they're in possession of the field, but specifically it was the farm field. So they were already to the civilized part of Troy, is what he was getting at here. And she says, you're trying to find this nice settled down place, but it's completely unknown to you. Okay? And then likewise domos, obviously domestic, and you got that wonderful image there. Oh, but are you fleeing me? And now she really goes a little crazy. Per ego has lacrimas dextronque tuante per connubia nostra per incatus emenaias si beliquidete meri fuerat tiliquiquam dulce meum miserere domus labentes et istam oro si quis ad hoc precibus locus exue ventem.
Is that so?
I don't know how you could get more upset than
I've-
that.
He's already said to kill herself.
Can I get anybody that feels a little bit bad for Aeneas at the moment?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, and Judas is like, I imagine he's probably standing there real straight faced, but in his mind he's like,
Yeah.
Had a good thing going.
Totally.
all the places, well, that or, all the places our ships could have landed, I mean, why here? Really?
She said to kill herself while speaking in the third person. She's over there, way over.
Well, exactly, yes, when she's trying to kill herself in third person, and by the way, I do feel compelled to say this, okay? Anybody who, and she can paint herself as the victim all she wants to, but anybody who attacks someone else by threatening their own suicide, unless you do what I want you to do, don't you ever fall for that. Don't you ever feel guilty if somebody does some harm to themselves because of, well, you didn't do X, Y, or Z, or you broke up with me, and I told you if you broke up with me, I was gonna kill myself. That is entirely 100% their own responsibility. That's ridiculous. That is manipulation. There's a difference. The difference between manipulation and persuasion. What's the difference between manipulation and persuasion? Yes.
It's kind of like when you actually give them a choice.
Yeah.
The other one you're like kind of taking it away, but like
Yeah.
it's like horribly passive.
Manipulation is an improper use of power.